Hey, I'm back with No Frills Hi-Fi. Got another toy from iFi Audio. This is the Neo Stream. These run $12.99 on their website. If you watched any of my stuff before, you know I'm not a huge digital guy, so this is maybe a little outside my normal wheelhouse, but definitely something I did want to kind of look at because sometimes you just want to listen to something, you don't feel like flipping a record, you've got friends over or something having a party, you don't feel like standing there by the turntable all night. So something like this can be, pretty useful for that. Some people, they only stream music, so, if that's your thing, definitely going to want to take a look at this. For me, I kind of like the idea of being able to introduce some streaming music into my system just because, like I said, there are some applications where I would want to use it. But for the most part, I'm kind of an analog guy. But what I really like about this is it seems to have kind of all the features. Like it has the built-in DAC, so you can, use it just by itself. You don't need a separate DAC for it. I'll open it up here and we'll take a look at it, but you'll see it has a lot of different connection options, which is kind of cool. Something I'm not used to with what I do, of course, you do have to, make sure the thing is updated. It's going to get firmware updates. It's basically a little computer, kind of a single purpose computer. So let's just get it out of here. And it looks pretty good. I mean, it definitely has that, that hi-fi kind of look, but this is a little different than a lot of their stuff. Some of their stuff kind of looks like a little bitty flying saucer or something. So this looks more like what you would typically see in like a stacked set. But it still does have that iFi kind of feel to it. I do want to stress these are loaner units. This is not something I bought. This is something they sent to me so that I could review it. So, some things may not be perfectly packaged the way you would get with a new one. Does have something, I don't know if you can hear that, something rattling around in it. But sometimes that's the way it is when they get you a loaner unit. But certainly if you open yours up and it had this little scratch right here and something rattling around loose in it, I would certainly return that. But this could have been handled by any number of people. So unfortunately that's the world that a reviewer lives in. We just kind of get what they send us. But right away, the first thing you notice when you pull this thing out of the box, it does have some weight to it, so I kind of was like, okay, well, this doesn't feel plasticky and cheap like, some stuff out there. I will say iFi does a pretty good job of that. But one thing you'll notice right away, though, is all these ports. There are a ton of them for such a small, kind of single-purpose unit. So it's nice to have that because as your system changes, you're not going to have to buy a new one if you want to upgrade from, say, unbalanced to balanced connections. You want to get something that's a little bit more detailed. You're not going to have to buy a new one of these. Now, I will say it's $12.99 plus tax. So maybe this isn't the first pick for someone who's just getting into it. If you have the kind of money to put into that, it may be, but sometimes people, they kind of incrementally upgrade. So you may be coming from a different one. You may have one of iFi's other streamers or someone else. But I will say this is definitely a good one for either people just starting out with it or for people who are wanting to upgrade. Because, like I said, it does have a lot of expandability. I also like that it has, a real knob on the front. It's got some controls on the front. The one thing I will say is noticeably missing, especially odd for iFi, is there's no headphone jack. Now, I get it. You put a headphone jack on it, you're going to have a headphone amp, and so it's going to be a little bit bigger unit. It's going to cost a little more. You kind of see where that's going. You know, the more you add to it, the you kind of end up going down that rabbit hole. Let's see what else is in the box here. Something just fell out. Oh, this is a plug. It looks like it goes to the optical Ethernet there. So this plug was just loose in there. Again, this is a loaner unit, but this plug probably just goes right in there from the looks of it. I'll go over all the ports here in just a minute. But let's see what else we have here. So we have the power cable, the wall wart. I'm not crazy about the color, honestly. I mean, it kind of looks like it's from the 70s or 80s. I like black, but you know, does that matter? No. So it does have you know, interchangeable plugs here. So if you're using in a different region, you can always change it to whatever you use. But goes on pretty easily, locks into place, and oh. That's cool. So it does have an OptiBox, high-speed optical transceiver. So that plug that I was just messing with is basically an optical SC plug. So if you have a optical router, you can use that to connect to the system. The reason you might do that is there's a lot less RF interference than just plugging into the RJ45 jack. This, you can plug a regular router into it through the RJ45 jack, and then use the optical to go to the device. So what that does is that eliminates some of that RF interference. It looks like it's USB-C powered. I don't know if you could plug that directly into that for power, if you need to do that separately. Interestingly enough, though, there doesn't seem to be another power cord for that. So I would assume you could plug it into the back of this. Again, there are lots of ports, but I'd have to experiment with that later during the review part. Hopefully I won't forget. If I do, I know I'll be called out on that. And let's see what is in this. So that's, oh. We also have these little silicone feet that go, I guess, on the bottom of this. Odd that they don't just include that. There's even little, I don't know if you can see it or not, little X's right there, crosses where those feet would go. Not sure why they wouldn't just put those on. Oh, I know why they wouldn't put those on. Hang on. So the reason they wouldn't put those on is because you can use this vertically or horizontally. So they do include a little stand here. So if you're using it in a vertical setup, then you probably wouldn't want some ugly feet sticking out on the side of it. So that's why they don't. But basically, you can use it either like this, or when you use it vertically, you do want this little screen on the top. So then it just kind of sits right in that little cradle. And that actually squishes in there pretty good. So it would just sit like that. I guess it would depend on your space, and certainly if you're more into the digital side, you know, you may have this next to a computer, or I don't know, in some other application like that where you don't necessarily want it laying flat looking like an amplifier or something like that. For me, I'm more into the analog stuff, like I said, so you know, I probably would use this horizontally. That just seems a little bit more natural for me to do it that way. But you know, feel free to use it however you like. In the box here, we have a ton of cables, which I do love the fact that they did that. It's always nice to have free cables. So we do have just a regular Ethernet jack, Ethernet cable here with RJ45 plugs. I would say this is probably what most people are going to connect with, either that or Wi-Fi. Oh, it does come with a little USB-C to USB-A cable and the little wall wart here. So it actually does come with the power cable for this. So that way this little OptiBox thing, they call it, can plug in. So you would need extra power for that. It's good that they included that instead of relying on us. I guess I shouldn't have assumed. I probably should do some sort of research before I do this stuff. It does come with the typical iFi RCA plugs, which is kind of nice. And it also comes with this optical cable. This can go from this OptiBox to the unit, or you can just plug the nose string directly into a router if you have a router that uses optical SC cables like this. So it's kind of nice that they kind of include a lot of different options here for you in ways to connect it. It also has this little Wi-Fi antenna that, going back to the back of the thing, it just kind of screws in right there. And then it can rotate once it's on. So if you have it in horizontal, you can have it like that. If you have it vertical, you can turn it up. So let's take a look at the back. So right away you have the power plug right there. As far as Ethernet connection, of course you do have Wi-Fi. You can connect to Bluetooth to stream directly to it. You have this standard RJ45 jack, which I just kind of went over. That's your standard Ethernet. Everybody probably is familiar with that one, even if you may not know what it's called. This other one, of course, is the optical SC, and below that is a USB-C port labeled system upgrade. So if you're updating the firmware, you would connect it from that to a computer. We also have this M12 jack right here. There's no cable provided for that. This is kind of a pretty, I guess, specialty high-end data connection. It's not something you're going to see a whole lot of, but it is kind of nice for the people that use it to have that, because it just gives you a little bit more expandability to be able to use this with different systems. I don't have anything that uses that. I don't have any of those cables. Those are going to be some pretty high-end cables, a pretty high-end application there. So I don't feel like most users are going to take advantage of that, but it is something kind of cool that they included, just to kind of, have some diversity in ways to connect it, give you a little bit more expandability if you're changing your system out. Going down, they do have two USB-A ports there, A and C. So these are for audio. You can plug in an external hard drive to it. You can stream directly from a computer. So these are going to be very low noise. Next to it, you have the looks like 12S. It looks like an HDMI port. In fact, you can plug an HDMI cable in there, as far as I know. But it is for audio. It is. Sorry, we actually transitioned here to outputs. I should have said that. So with this one, it basically uses an HDMI cable to go to like a higher end system. Say maybe if you want to use a separate DAC, you could go from that. This is going to be a digital out. So if you have a higher end DAC system that you want to go into, that would be the port that you use. We also have optical out. This is just your typical Toslink cable. Let's go ahead and pull these off. So here you have coaxial, and then you also have some analog stuff here too. So it does have a built-in DAC. You have your RCA plugs, like, standard RCA. You also have a 4.4 millimeter balanced output. So if you wanted to go, iFi loves 4.4. So if you wanted to go into, say, an amplifier, you can send it through there. That's going to be a balanced output. So if you're going to one of their other amplifiers, you can go balanced all the way. You also have this XLR output here. So really for its size, it's got a lot of connectability. You also have another USB-C port in the front, which you could use for like a thumb drive or something like that. Likewise, you connect to a computer. So far as I know, I think it does the exact same thing as the USB-A ports in the back. And of course you have your power button, you have your mode button, I think that is. I'll have to look, honestly. It does come with looks like, no, I thought it came with a cheat sheet. Well, if you look online, it does say it comes with like a little quick start guide. I would certainly expect that in the box. Again, loaner unit, so I didn't get that. So I will have to do a little bit of fiddling around with it to see. I know you can push this button for mode changes as well as turning it. I will say it doesn't feel like a very smooth dial. I can even see, I don't know if you can see through the video as I rotate it. It's kind of at an angle, so you can see it kind of spinning weird. Excuse me. I would like to see that pot changed out. Maybe I can. Yeah, well, nothing really seems to correct that. I don't know if I can pull that off and slide it back on. It doesn't feel like it. Of course, I don't want to break it, but there's just something about the way that turns. It's not a really crisp, clean kind of turn. It's not real smooth. It's just kind of on there, kind of a little wobbly, but I was gonna say I don't know how much that matters. I think that would bother me, to be honest, for a $1,300 $12.99 thing. I would expect that to be maybe just a little bit better. I'm sure it doesn't affect functionality at all. And truthfully, you're probably going to be controlling a lot of stuff from what you're streaming from. So, I don't think I'd let that be a deal breaker for me. But, maybe in the NeoStream 2 or whatever comes next, maybe we'll see them upgrade that a little bit. Other than that, though, it feels good. It looks good. Comes with all the extra cables and stuff. So I feel pretty good about it right now. Obviously we'll have to see what it sounds like. But, we'll do that in another video. So, don't forget to check it out. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe so I can get more stuff to play with. But appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you later. Thanks.